class, Mr. Shegs and teaching. Good morning, everybody. I'll be taking you guys today on the basic definition of economics. Our topic today is titled the basic definition of economics. So before I proceed, we want to ask what is economics? Economics is a subject which falls under commercial aspect. So it means it falls within social science or commercial science. Economics has several definitions because several economists define economics based on their interest. For instance, a political economist will define economics from the aspect of politics, and a welfare economist will define economics from the aspect of what? Welfare. A materialist economist will define economics from the aspect of what? Material. So they all define economics based on their endeavor and interest. But before we talk about those, the founding fathers of economics gave us an insight to the meaning of economics. They all provided us some definition based on their endeavor and interest. The first of them is called Adam Smith. Adam Smith in 1777 is regarded as the father of economics because he laid down the foundation of economics as a discipline. He saw his work as an inquiry into nature and the causes of wealth of the nation. Mill was interested in political aspects of economics, which were involved in investigating disparities between countries in terms of wealth. He asked two major questions. Why are some nations rich and developed? Why are some poor and underdeveloped? This concept was defined in his book titled The Wealth of the Nation. The next person is J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill, also called John Stuart Mill. J.S. Mill in 1844 defined economics as the practical science of production and distribution of wealth. Mill was interested in what determined the amount of wealth produced by a nation or how wealth is produced and shared among various members of the society. The definition given by Mill is very important because we want to ask the question, how is wealth produced and how is wealth shared among various members or citizens of a country? For instance, Nigeria is endowed with petroleum, or Nigeria is known for crude oil. You want to ask yourself, how is crude oil sold and how is the revenue shared among various members or among various sectors of what? The economy. This aspect falls under GSP point of view of economics. The next person is Davenport. Davenport in 1889 defined economics as a phenomenon from the standing point of price. It defines economics as anything that has money value or exchange value should come within the framework or purview of economics. So that report, anything that has money value or exchange value should be entitled within the meaning or definition of economics. For Marshall, Alfred Marshall in 1880 defined economics as the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. So Alfred Marshall, economics is a study of mankind on one aspect and a study of what businesses on another aspect. He urged his listeners that in the course of engaging in economics, that the optimum aim of anybody is to be concerned how to improve the well-being and standard of living. This definition given by Alfred Marshall falls under the welfare of economics. We talk about what the welfare of people who are involved in production or in productive work aspect. The next person which I'm talking about is Professor Leon Rubin. Professor Leon Rubin in 1932 defined economics as a science which studies human behavior as a relationship to ends and scarce means, which are capable of being put into alternative uses. This definition given by Professor Rubin has been titled as a currently accepted definition of economics because it states some basic about behavior, scarcity, and choice, which happens to be the basic fundamental problems of economics. But the major reason why this definition was accepted because it stated that one, economics is a science which studies human behavior. Number two, human wants are unlimited. Number three, there are limited resources to satisfy the unlimited wants of human. Then number four, productive resources are scarce. So if you watch this definition given by Professor Leobin, it states that human wants are unlimited. It means that as much as we are alive, our wants are what? Unlimited. So with this, I want to define what is economics because these founding fathers gave us an insight to what is economics. Don't forget I said that Adam Smith in 1777 defined economics. Just also known as John Stuart Mill in 1844 defined as a practical science of production. Davenport in 1889 defined economics from the aspect of what? Point view of price. Then Alfred Marshall defined it from the aspect of what? The ordinary business in the ordinary man's life. Then Professor Neobin defines it as a science which studies human behavior. So now, what then is the definition of economics based on my point of view? Don't forget I said that no definition is accepted. It means that all of them provided a point of view to what economics is. But currently, the definition given by Ian Robin was widely what? Accepted. Now, what is economics? Economics can be defined So economics can be defined as a science which deals with the production, distribution, exchange of goods and services. It also deals with how firms, businesses decide on how productive resources can be used effectively because productive resources are scarce. So firms, businesses, nations have to answer the question on how productive resources should be used effectively because they are scarce. Having said this, in our coming class, we shall talk about the basic fundamental problem of economics, which we'll be talking about want, scarcity, choice, preference, opportunity cost, and scale of preference. I want you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch my videos. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much, Mr. Shegs.